And we are live. Good evening. Good evening. I know we're having a few people going to be rolling in, but welcome to the Jake D channel where we're howling about entertainment tonight on an unusual Monday night edition of the stream. You know, as some of you probably know, I was traveling this weekend. And so I wasn't able to host my typical show that usually goes at about 5:15 Central on Sundays. But it was a pretty cool, lot of fun weekend. Had some beyond just having a good time, rolling out and checking out Disney World and seeing the Magic Kingdom and getting a chance to hang out with the family there, which is always a fun time. Just always a great time. I also had a really neat milestone that happened this weekend while I was in transit. And that was, of course, that I did break 100 subs this weekend, thanks to a very deep felt shout out from my good buddy Polly over on Latino Slant. You know, he will probably stop in the chat at some point this evening because Polly, he supports all of us that are a part of, what people are calling the fifth wave of fandom menace YouTubers, of which I would certainly consider myself a part. And we absolutely, to quote the Great Culture Casino, we rise together, right? And good to see you here. Just another red shirt. Glad you could make it this evening. But and hey, Ginger Hosley is with us as well. Ginger, hail to you, a fine member of the Fandom Menace YouTube community. Another person who shows great support for a lot of the channels, and particularly some of those who are really just getting our feet wet and getting started on the platform. Ginger is somebody who's very supportive of that. And one of the really neat things about Ginger, if anybody's not aware, she is also an artist and was the person who put together a 12th Doctor charity calendar that was really neat that I actually got as a gift for my daughter, and she just absolutely loved it because my kiddo, she is a big fan of Peter Capaldi, the wonderful and amazing 12th Doctor. Father Christopher Miller, it is good to see you, my friend. Very good to see you. You just started watching Dr. No. Oh, my goodness. That is an absolute classic, and definitely one of the things that I wanted to talk about tonight, of course, was the great Sean Connery. And I think I am going to, let's start with talking about Sir Sean Connery. He was, the volume 1 of Connery Bond movies. Excellent. I got a few years back, I got this really neat boxed set of all of the first 23 Bond movies. And it even had a space in it to let me get Spectre and add that into it after it launched. So I have got the physical media of every single Bond movie made to this point that has released. Of course, let's not forget that No Time to Die, of course, that they were unable to sell to a streaming platform recently, may or may not be released at some point in the next year or so. We'll see how that plays out. I've got this funny feeling that the Bond franchise is just a little bit worried about how that movie's going to do. And the reported asking price of $600 million for No Time to Die to hit a streaming service. I mean, it's no wonder nobody picked it up. Nobody in their right mind would pay that kind of money. And the important thing to know about that number, that $600 million, is that must be their estimate of what they need to make in order to pull a little bit of profit off the production of this thing, to give you the kind of scale that they must have spent on this movie. Hopefully, a fair bit of that was on reshoots to take the woke out, but I'm betting that it's not. So Time Bandits, that is a one that I have not seen in years, Father. And, I think you're just going to make me rewatch it by bringing that up. My goodness, it's been at least a decade, if not longer than that, since I've seen that one. It's one that has been a long time. So Meteor with Natalie Wood. That's one that I don't know, Father. And based on your comment, probably a good thing. So, yeah. Craig's last Bond film. I have a feeling it's going to be challenging. So I put together, in honor of the passing of the great Sean Connery, I threw together a few clips of some of my favorite quotes from some of his movies that were just easier for me to access and get to kind of on short notice. And so we're going to zip over here real quick. And I want everybody to just sort of enjoy the great Sean Connery for a few minutes. Oh, wait, you know what? I think I boomered that and forgot the video. Hang on, or the audio rather. Let me redo that. And remember to click the button this time. It's this whole you're not a professional YouTuber kind of thing, right? Sometimes even those of us who those people who've been doing it for a long time make those kind of mistakes. So, all right, let's take a minute here and just enjoy the great Sean Connery.
Bond. James Bond.
What are you doing here? Looking for shells?
No, I'm just looking.
You're one of the most beautiful girls I've ever seen.
Thank you, but I think my mouth is too big.
No, it's the right size. For me, that is.
Who are you?
My name is Pussy Galore.
I must be dreaming. How did you know she was a Nazi? How did you know she was a Nazi? She talks in her sleep.
That look from Ford.
How wonderful it was.
Thank you. It was rather wonderful. It's not always shared. It's disgraceful. You're old enough to be her grandfather. I'm as human as the next man. I was the next man. Ships that pass in the night. Welcome to the Rock.
All right. So, I threw together, didn't have a lot of time to get to it. So obviously I missed a lot of Connery's great roles. I mean, I didn't get Highlander in there when he played Ramirez, which was just a role that I absolutely loved Connery in. The guy was just great, but just a lot of fond memories of this guy. He was an absolutely wonderful actor. And I'm gonna miss him, and I have missed him really, right? Because he'd been out of the industry for a while now. And what that guy brought to the screen, I mean, you saw in some of those clips, I mean, some of that stuff would never make it to the screen today. I mean, your mouth is just the right size for me. That does not make it into film anymore. And it's sad to me that it doesn't. There's certainly a case to be made that, where all this woke stuff comes from, right? It definitely comes from a reaction to, I mean, quite frankly, some of those scenes that we just watched from the great Sean Connery. And Connery was he always portrayed a man's man on screen. And I hear a lot of talk, and I think this was mentioned maybe on the Inquisition last night. And, there was a reference to Connery being a man of his time. And, my immediate reaction to that was, you know what? No, he is a man of all time. When you think about what does an alpha male look like, right? What is that kind of thing that for a long, long time in this country and elsewhere, people sort of aspired to be? A lot of us saw that image of Connery in some of those clips that we just watched through. This was a guy who, on screen, one way or the other, he got it done. I think back to when I was a kid, and this is going kind of deep into the film archives of one of my absolute favorite movies from when I was a young man, was Darby O'Gill and the Little People. Connery was young in this movie, and it was a movie about, catching the king of the leprechauns and dealing with the banshee, and there's Connery in this movie, and he's this just really charismatic and fun, and again, man's man, even in a silly movie like Darby O'Gill and the Little People. And exactly, Red Shirt. He was the epitome of 60s cool. But I mean, to me, Connery transcended just that era. And I mean, you take a look at the last clip I threw in from The Rock, right? And that was, if I remember correctly, late 90s, early 2000s, the very, very latest. And that's what I'm getting at when I say that he was more than just a man of his time, and he really truly was a man of all time. He was a guy that men looked up to and aspired to be like, and he was a guy that women also looked to and wished that their men were like him in many ways. We don't have a strong, powerful male lead in that same mold today. And it's something that I think that we're missing from entertainment to an extent. I think back about when you're looking at, say, Aquaman, right? And Jason Momoa in that movie is like the closest thing to what Connery embodied today in many ways. The women are not going to Aquaman to see Amber Heard or things like that. What they're loving about Aquaman is big old Jason Momoa with his shirt off, right? And when they're watching The Witcher, they're not running to it for Yennefer. They're there for Henry Cavill. Guys like Connery draw everybody. They draw the ladies, they draw the guys, because we all see something in him that we want to see portrayed on the screen. And we don't get enough of that today. And Connery's passing is really, really sad to me for that reason, because there's as they said in The Night's Watch, never shall we see his like again. And that is a damn true statement about Sean Connery. There is nothing like him right now, and we shall not see his like again. Women want him, men want to be him. Bingo, Vigilante Williamson. That is exactly it. And unfortunately, Red Shirt, you hit the nail on the head. It's just not allowed in movies today. I mean, some of those clips that I showed earlier of Connery, you could not get them on the air. I mean, when Bond is there with Pussy Galore, I mean, just start with the name. Right? I mean, you're not going to get that into a movie anymore. It's not going to happen. And it's a shame that you can't. And it's something that this group of folks that we align with this idea of what the fandom menace is. Now, look, maybe some of the excesses of the 60s in movie making, okay, maybe we needed to tamp it down a little bit. So, maybe you don't name the Bond girl Pussy Galore anymore, but you still need to have just these vital elements of the yin and the yang of male and female. And you need to have the man that women want and that men want to be. And you need to have the woman that the men want and the women want to be. And when you bring these two pieces and these facets of humanity together, it creates just a great chemistry on scene and on the screen that we don't get enough of anymore. And it's a part of what the culture is losing and has lost. And in many ways, the passing of Sean Connery, it just comes down to just symbolic of that loss of that from our culture, which saddens me. I mean, it's something that I guess it's just the end of an era, right? More than anything else. And it's a shame, man. I mean, we need our Sean Connerys in the world. We need guys like that out there. And, speaking for just myself and, hopefully those of you who are watching, it's, that's, I hope that you agree that, missing somebody like that from the culture, it's just a major loss. And Connery, one of the things I remember about him that just, I think, speaks to who he was for the culture is when he got called an Englishman. He took great offense to it. And his statement, I'm going to have to paraphrase it because I don't have the quote in front of me, but it was something to the effect of, I'm a Scotsman and I've always been a Scotsman, and he took it as an insult, honestly, that somebody would refer to him as an Englishman. And yes, Vigilante Williamson, similar to Kobe in sports when he passed, but the retirement, even that was the end of the masculine athlete. And I don't disagrey with you at all. I really don't. I mean, Kobe was not my cup of tea. I was born in the Chicago area, so I was raised on Michael Jordan, and Jordan started getting big when I was huge into sports. So for me, it was Jordan, right? But Kobe filled that same role for a lot of people. I don't disagree with you at all. And when you lose a guy like that to retirement, or in the case of Kobe, that just tragic accident that he was in this year, it's to the Night's Watch point, never shall we see their like again. And that's truly I think that's why with the really big folks that we get a feeling of loss, even though I never met Sean Connery, I never met Michael Jordan, I never met Kobe Bryant, but when you lose somebody like that from the popular culture, whether it's Jordan's retirement, whether it's Kobe's death, whether it's Connery's death, there's a loss there that we feel because we've connected to them through the visual media, whether it's TV shows, whether it's movies, whatever have you. So Geek Tropology, thank you for popping in. I appreciate it. Kent Barnes, glad you were able to get here, sir, and thank you very much. I'm just, it's an honor, and it's really cool. I remember back when, I hit 10 subs, and, now I've moved an order of magnitude beyond that. And I mean, 100 it's a cool milestone to hit. And sometimes we celebrate and we focus on neat milestones like that because, they are meaningful to us as a step towards, moving to your goals. And, certainly a goal of mine with this channel is to continue to grow and to reach people and, develop a wider community for anybody who's, interested in being a part of this. Because I think the Fandom Menace is a wonderful community. Draco, I'm glad that you could make it, sir. Hey, if you're in a place that you can pop in the stream, I did leave a link in the Discord server. You are absolutely invited and welcome to join, as is anybody else in there. And I shot a couple emails to folks. We may have somebody popping in. We may not. We'll see. But we'll if it's just me, there ain't nothing wrong with that either. And yeah, and on to 200. Yeah, I guess so. I suppose that's kind of the next big number. And then Geek Tropology, you enjoyed your mother destroying Star Trek Discovery. You know what? I wish that I could say the same thing, although I'll give her full credit. Mine has never actually watched it, and she was a huge fan of TNG. I remember when I was a kid growing up, and that was a family thing we did. We watched TNG every week. I remember a summer where we were, at least I think it was a summer. It's been a long time ago, right? But when they closed out the season with Picard as Locutus, and that's the cliffhanger they leave you on. And it was months until we found out how that resolved itself, and so that was, that was like a part of the family. So in a way, I'm very, very glad that my mother has not been subjected to the absolute horrid presentation of STD. I prefer my mother not get STDs, so that works out just fine. I tend to avoid it myself for obvious reasons. So, oh gosh, oh man, I suppose one of these days I probably should reactivate my Twitter handle. I haven't been on Twitter since 2012. And I'm probably more sane for staying off of it, to be honest with you. So, oh, thank you, Ginger. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you being here. But yeah, man, Connery, that's just, that one hit me this weekend, losing Connery, because he's an icon. He is an absolute icon of film, and it's a big deal seeing him go down. That's right. I don't. I hope you don't either. It's not something I'd wish on your mother either. Oh goodness, though. Yeah, that was. I'm very pleased my mother is not experiencing STDs. So big thing going on right now. Switching, kind of the next topic I was thinking about was, of course, Mando Chapter 9. And with, I kind of like how they're lining it up with referring to it as chapters. So we're into season 2, and we just saw Chapter 9, The Marshal. And I did a quick take live review Friday morning, and I've watched the show a couple more times since then. I've watched other people's reviews of what they saw go on. There were a lot of good takes, I thought, going on there throughout the Fandom Menace community, and even in a wider net of folks who aren't part of that particular or don't identify with that hashtag, right? And one of the universal things that I think I've noticed as the sort of the biggest reaction to Mando has been that, this was a good episode. And I did enjoy it. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10, which is a totally decent rating. And but I think the biggest complaint that I heard is that it didn't do much to advance the serialized story that we're expecting to see here throughout season 2 of The Mandalorian. And that could be a potential problem, because it almost makes this season opener a filler episode. Because what did we really do overall? So we reiterate what we already knew from the end of season 1, which is he's going to be trying to reunite the child with its kind. And I think it's important that we remember that the statement from the armorer when she quested him to reunite the child with its kind was she didn't say his species, she said his kind. And I think that's very intentionally open-ended. And we've got what appears to be some confirmation about Ahsoka being a part of season 2. I mean, there's been a lot of rumors around that. We've heard that Rosario Dawson has been cast to portray a live action Ahsoka Tano, and it hasn't been quite necessarily officially confirmed, mostly in the sense of we don't know what episode she's going to show up in and just how major or minor that role is going to be. And so so Geek Tripoli says the episode was great. We need something like this for now, something slow and world building until the bomb is dropped on the sequel trilogy. Well, if you've been following Doomcock's rumors, of course, you know that there's been I'd characterize as the information that got to him could very, very possibly have been intentional to kind of run things up the flagpole to get the reaction of, deep Star Wars fans and perhaps even former fans, people like Gary at Nerdrotic, who, tells you very, very honestly that this is in a world that he doesn't care about. Oh God, I misread that. Yeah, that's fair, man. And yeah, the Disney tragedy, as opposed to the Disney trilogy, and I like that. That's a good phrasing, man. I like that, and you're dead on. You're absolutely dead on. But so I think those rumors that Doomcock over on Overlord DVD's channel that he got, I think those are trial balloons. I really, really do. I think Lucasfilm and the movie industry in general are no stranger to basically testing, right? So there have absolutely been known examples where major studios have floated rumors to essentially get the reaction of the audience sort of ahead of time, and find out if they're interested in an idea. Like if it's almost like test screening to an extent. And then yes, The Drinker Fixes Finn. That was an excellent video. If there's anybody here who has not seen that, I would strongly recommend that you view it. It was a great vid. There's another channel out there that I like to listen to and follow called Thor Skywalker. He does a ton of Star Wars content, and he's kicked off a series of videos about how he would fix the sequel trilogy. And if anybody in the chat has not checked that channel out before, I would strongly recommend it. And yeah, exactly, Geek Tripology. They were probing if the reaction was good, and then you got into the elections in the US and everything did a full stop. I do not disagree with you. So we got a couple of guests joining the stream. So first, I brought in a good friend, Draco Argentus. Draco, although he is apparently still having a few mic problems, so he's probably going to stay on mute, except when he wants to speak up for the most part, because he's not coming from a studio setup, so it's his noise gets a little bad sometimes. And then also joining us this evening is Matt from Foulball Productions. Matt, welcome to the stream, my friend. Glad to have you the first time.
Hey, man, glad to be here. Congratulations.
Thank you. You're not terribly far behind. You should be hitting 50 here shortly.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
I'm at 49 right now. So yeah, they say the road to the 100 is the hardest road, the toughest one to get people's attention. So congratulations.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man.
No, not quite, Ginger.
No.
So, real quick, I will get the link to his channel added to the description.
Thank you.
But if anybody, granted, I don't have a gigantic reach, but anybody with us here, if you have not checked out Matt at Foulball Productions, great channel to sub to. He's been doing at least 2 or 3 times a week. He's been going episode by episode through The Expanse, and I love your content on that.
Oh, dude, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's enjoyable to watch. Just kind of give a quick intro to you, because some of the people in the stream may not have run into your channel yet.
Oh, sure, yeah. I've been a fan of like the Fandom Menace and like Gary and this whole community for a while, but I always kind of felt like outside of it. And then, through like Gary's encouragement, I started my own channel, a few months ago. And then I was just like throwing stuff out there. And The Expanse is one of my favorite shows. I love it. I love it up and down, inside out. I've watched it so many times. I've read the books. I'm wearing an Expanse shirt right now, the MCRN. And
nice.
I just started doing that just because I wanted to, because I did the Umbrella Academy and I didn't enjoy it. So I was like, this is like a joke. I'm not having fun. So then I did The Expanse and I got a good response. And so I just put on the episode in the background and just like talk about what I think as I watch it.
Sometimes that's a great way to do the reactions. Obviously we can't stream it directly because we'd get shut down real effing quick.
Right. Yeah. I know. I wish we could. But
yeah, that'd be nice. I know through like Amazon, they give you this watch party function, but you cannot stream that.
No.
No.
Have you ever done that? Because is that can you talk through that, or is it just text?
I haven't done one myself. I am definitely interested to checking it out. That would it'd be a cool thing, particularly when you're doing your streams on the episode reactions. If you could drop a link in to the watch along.
Really smart. I didn't even think of that. That's a great idea.
So, it's kind of Paulie over on Latino Slant. He does that with the X-Files.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, every Thursday night, man, Paulie has got a great stream where he's just doing, and he started at season 1 and he is rolling through the X-Files, which is, one of my favorite shows from back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great idea. I never thought about that. What a cool, because it does feel like you're just kind of feeling me out, like, oh, where is he on the show? You can't actually see where it is. But then if you throw a link in, you can. That's great. I love that idea. And
they can join right in with you. And Vigilante Williamson says you absolutely can talk. Yellow Flash does that.
Oh, well, that's even better. Right on.
So that could be you integrate the 2 platforms together. So you got her over on the one screen and then you got your stream and your chat going.
And it's like one of those things. Thank you, Sergeant Politeness. Much appreciated for the sub. It's one of those things that it's just one of those. I've seen it so many times, so I can watch someone talk about it while it's happening. And I feel like there's a lot of people out there that love that show that much. So it's kind of like it's not going to ruin your experience. You're like, oh yeah, I know this part. We can kind of share our glee for what I think is the best show on TV.
Yeah, the thing about. Hey, Kent Barnes says you've at least made 50. He subbed for you also, man.
That's big. Thank you so much.
Live on the stream, ladies and gentlemen.
Awesome. That's awesome.
But yeah,
Cool,
no,
thank
Matt.
you.
Yeah, your content on The Expanse, I'm loving it.
Thank you, man.
The thing with The Expanse for me, I have tried to turn it on several times, and the problem is I'm not turning it on when I can just focus and actually watch it.
Yeah.
So like a lot of times I'll throw a show on in the background. Like I love House.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Fun.
So I'll throw on House in the background while I'm working or doing something else, and listen to it. But you can't do that with The Expanse.
You know what? You can't. But I'll tell you, to be honest, I got into it like that. I kind of have like an open in my apartment. I have like an open shot from like the kitchen to the TV. So I like to cook while I watch, a series or something like that. And when I first watched The Expanse, I wasn't sold on it. Oh, a fly just flew in my face. I wasn't sold on it, but my buddy insisted, and I was like, okay, you're my friend. I trust your word. Okay. So I remember I was just making like a big pot of pasta sauce, and it takes a few hours. So I just had it on, and then I was watching it, and then somewhere along, like I think episode 4, it clicked for me. And I was like, this show is awesome. And then it became the type of show where I couldn't not just sit in front of it and be obsessed,
Yeah.
But at first, there's so many layers to that show, though. I think, however you can enjoy it, I recommend it. However you can get into it.
There you go, man. So I've been watching your reviews on it. It's it's one of those things because season 5's dropping in what, 6 weeks?
Yeah, December something. Yeah.
So that is on, I have got to get through. Be ready for that.
Yeah. It's interesting because season 1 through 3 to me is so completely it's one long story. It's one middle, beginning, and end. It all is interwoven. Whereas season 4 feels like the continuing adventures of the Rocinante or the Expanse, which I'm I like it. It's just not as integrated. So I wonder what's going to happen with season 5. Is it just going to kind of be standalone stories, or is it going to be this big sweeping thing that goes on for seasons? I'm curious to see where it goes.
Yes. Yeah. No. And so, my goal is I want to be caught up and ready to experience season 5 when it drops.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I know me, and that just a cheap plug, but me and my friend Lindsay are going to be after every airing, we're going to go on and talk about it. So if anyone wants to see some live chatter, I'm sure Gary and Nerdrotic Gary and Doomcock are probably going to talk about it too.
Oh yeah.
But but that's what they've been talking about, right? The weekly release gets the conversation going.
Exactly. And they're going to do that. Finally.
Yeah, it's smart. It is smart. Look how popular The Boys was. Even though we've eviscerated it and we've got our problems with it, it still was. Everyone was talking about it and watching it, and you saw billboards, you saw online talk, and it was a show that was a thing, a cultural thing for a while. So I think they're right. About the weekly thing.
I have no reason to disbelieve Amazon when they said they doubled their audience between seasons 1 and 2.
For the Boys? Wow, they said that?
Yeah.
I didn't even hear that. That's
they
amazing.
did. Of course, we don't know what that audience was because they don't show us the numbers, right?
Right.
Even channels like us that are, still smaller and just getting started, you just see all of our numbers.
Everything. Everything down to how long each viewer watches. So, yeah,
Yeah. Little inside ball talk about YouTube. One of the things that just speaking for myself, I obsess over looking at those numbers sometimes.
Do you? Yeah, I can see that.
Well, it helps me see where I'm losing people, right?
Yeah,
in a video,
totally, dude. Yeah.
And so it helps you. Okay, that one sucked, and this is where I lost everybody. Or that one did good. I kept everybody halfway through.
Yeah, no, dude, that was the cool thing for me about covering The Expanse was I was like, this has been the most popular thing I've put out there, which I just did it because I wanted to, not because I thought people were going to like it. And it turned out it worked like that.
Dude, same here. I got started with the Umbrella Academy. That's what I kicked off the channel with because
right on.
I don't disagree with Nerdrotic's assessment on it that it was about season 2 was about half a good show and about half a weak show.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Maybe
and 60-40, something like that. Yeah.
Give or take. So Draco, how's the audio issues? Have you sorted it out?
degree, yes, but of course you will hear the wind tunnel in the background to some degree. And
It's better.
maybe
It's
some
better
radio
than last
noise.
weekend. So-
I
That is
listened to that
important.
stream. I was listening to you guys when I was on the road. I was in Yuma, California, and I was listening to you guys. Yuma, Arizona.
excellent.
Yuma, Arizona.
Yeah. You were at the Grand Canyon, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, man. It's a good trip. It's something else. Have you ever been to the Grand Canyon, Jake?
Grand Canyon, no. Which is shocking. I grew up in Denver. I've been all around the West, but and all through Arizona, but for one reason or another, I've never made it to the canyon.
It's unbelievable. I've been there twice. I went when I was a kid, when I was like, I don't know, 12 or 13. And it was amazing then. And I went this time and it was just as amazing. It's like, it's so humbling, it's like, it's so grand. It's so humongous. You're just looking at it. It's like, you can't believe what you're seeing. And it's very peaceful. It's very Zen. It's a cool thing to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are other channels that are getting started here in the chat with us, and they're definitely experiencing some of the same things we are. So,
Yeah. Okay. I see. Geek Tropology.
Yeah. And Vigilante Williamson here, and he looks at his retention, his click through, same as I do, man. It's something that I mean, you can't focus on it too much, but you do need to look at it.
You gotta look, but I try to space it out. I try to look at it maybe every 4 hours or something like that. Like if I have to plant it in my head. Because sometimes you do get disappointed. You're like, oh man, I thought over that 4 hours more people were gonna watch. but then sometimes you get a surprise. You're like, oh, look at that got traction, cool. But I think just for your own mental health, you got to just kind of space it out so you don't, it doesn't become obsessive.
So I saw you dropped a vid on chapter 1 of Mando the other day. So you're going back through and re-looking at them. Now you had a chance to watch chapter 9, right?
It's funny. Here's what happened with the Mando. I just pulled the ripcord. Much like when I watched I watched The Force Awakens. I've never seen Jedi or the whatever the Rise of Skywalker one is, because I just saw a train wreck coming. So I just pulled the ripcord and I was out, watched everyone's amazing content on it, and then didn't have to. Then we got Draco.
Are you back with us, Draco?
Oh, I just heard him say hello. We lost him again.
I guess we lost him.
I really like that guy. He's a really interesting contributor. I hope that he can come back. I like listening to him talk. He's funny.
The trouble he runs into is about half the time he's trying to connect from his office, which is a machinery plant.
Oh, really? A machinery plant?
Yes. Yeah, making car parts. Oh. And so that's why you get some background noise a lot.
Okay. That makes sense. But so as far as Mando, what's that?
Nothing big. It's just car parts.
Well, I'll tell you what. I have a car. I need parts. I think that's big.
Yeah. I think it's awesome. But so the same thing happened with me with Mandalorian, where I was like, I like some of it, and then enough of it just seemed ridiculous, where I was just like, you know what? I don't really need to go through more Star Wars pain. I'm just going to pull out and whatever happens, happens. But then the new one came out, right? The new episode. And I'm like, I do want to get into this. So I'm going to start over, walk into Mandalorian like I've never seen it, and just go over each episode and kind of absorb it. So no, I haven't seen. I think I've only seen up to episode 7 or chapter 7. What was the one? The one I think I saw the one after the Bill Burr episode, whatever one that was.
That was either 6 or 7. I'd have to go back and look. I can't remember. So yeah, those final 2 episodes from season 1 were very solid.
That's what I've heard. I feel like I kind of missed out on checking that out. But hey, say la vie.
Yeah, fair enough, man. So one thing that I liked a lot about this season opener was it had just the right amount of Baby Yoda. So I mean that.
I know exactly what you mean. That is because when I was going over it, I just filmed all those videos yesterday, and I was watching it, and I'm like, look, I know I'm supposed to think Baby Yoda is adorable, but I do. He is adorable. Like, let's be honest. So it's like, yeah, but then it can't be too much. So like, just the right amount of Baby Yoda.
Yeah, he was there. He did a couple cute, funny things, but he wasn't. He didn't really affect the story, right? I mean, he was just kind of there.
Good.
He did a couple things that made you go, oh.
And he does. And it's funny because I did three episodes yesterday, and episode 3, his presence really drives the action and is a pivotal moment for Mando.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like when he's in the ship, he takes the little shifter knob off, and then
that was great.
It was great. And then Mando later goes and the knob's not there, and he has that moment like, damn it, I gotta go rescue that baby. And so his existence does move the story, but it shouldn't be so much that you're like, all right, this friggin' baby. Like in episode 2, when he's on the Jawa crawler or whatever, and Mando's like, scaling it. And then like Baby Yoda's behind him, like he's in Mario Kart, just like, like behind this. I'm like, what's going on here? Why is Baby Yoda involved in this car chase?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like just the right amount. Less Baby Yoda is more Baby Yoda. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Bingo. And they got it perfect in the season opener. I mean, they really did.
I'll have to see it. How was Gina Carano? Like, what was her presence like?
Unfortunately, there was no Gina Carano in the Gina Carano show.
That's too bad.
That was a shame.
I like that, the Gina Carano show.
Well, I shamelessly stole that from Gary.
Oh, I steal from them all the time. I always try to give them credit, but you know what? They make good points. What am I supposed to do?
When somebody's got it right, they got it right,
Yeah,
at the end of the day. And it's so, I mean, she's coming in at some point in the season, hopefully this week. I mean, if they're really planning to do this whole idea of a Filoni verse, although I would strongly prefer it be the Favreau verse, I would take that all day long.
They seem to be a team, though.
They're certainly behaving that way, which so far what they've done together has been great.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of like either Filoni directs and Favreau writes, or Favreau writes and Filoni directs. I've seen a lot of that on the credits of these episodes. So they do seem to be a team. And I wonder, did you see the Filoniing on Friday Night Tights?
Oh yeah.
That was like the greatest. I think I was pretty new in Friday Night Tights when that came on. And it was just, they just came in hot, and they just argued for like a good hour and a half. But I wonder if Jeremy's right. I wonder if maybe Filoni is a good voice and was just saying some dumb shit at a conference to, fit in.
In the absence of there not being a lot of additional examples of him talking like that, I've got to lean towards he was told to say something for a particular audience.
And it was years ago when that was super fashionable. And look, man, I live in LA. It is, you can't contradict the narrative out here, unless you want to face really severe social repercussions. Like you just have to either keep your mouth shut or like agree with everybody, because it's like I look at it like Mean Girl rules. It's like they'll start talking amongst each other and be like, Matt said this, and they'll kick you out of the group. So if you want to work, you got to be hey, Ace Mr. Freeze, what's up, man? That guy's awesome.
Oh, he's great, dude. I Mr. Freeze, love chatting with you on the member streams over with Nerdrotic, man.
Yeah.
If you can scratch the time, you're somebody who should consider a channel, man.
Definitely. I was looking for your channel after that member stream. I was like, I can't find this guy. I wanted to subscribe to him. Yeah. So what's your what would be your grade for the new Mandalorian episode? 1 through 10, what would you give it?
I gave it a 7.5. Kind of right in line with most of the others.
Yeah, and that's fair.
So,
I think that's reasonable. It's a weird baseline now. As long as it's not utter woke garbage, it's like, okay.
Not being utter woke garbage, sadly, That's a good.
It's a great thing. Step in the right
that's like
direction.
a huge compliment right now.
It really is, and it's like what an accomplishment in this day and age. You're like, wow, you managed to slip on through without being too woke. In that vein, a movie that came out this year on Netflix that I was absolutely blown away by was The Outpost. Did you happen to see that?
I did not. I'm
Man.
gonna take a note of it right now.
I was floored by how good that movie was.
All right, so Draco says he's having just issues that the audio isn't going to be working, so he wants to say a little something, and he's going to bow out.
Please, by all means.
Draco,
I don't hear me.
you're coming in weak, but you're there.
I'm just going to have to say congratulations and goodbye, because every time I try this thing, I've never had this problem before. This is, I am suffering to stay connected right now. I've been having problems with my
You
computer.
keep going in and out.
Well, this is new.
It's a brand new one too, of course. Well, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you popping in very much. Draco was one of my first guests on the channel, and when his connection's working well, he's an amazing contributor.
Yeah, I remember him. He stood out very much during the members stream. I had a lot of sharp points, and I like there'd be like a long pause between his comments, and then he'd say something really precise. So I was like, this guy's awesome.
Thank you for saying so.
Absolutely.
I am subscribed to your. I'm subscribed to your chat. As I'm subscribed to your channel as well. Congratulations!
Thank you very much.
And take the luck. Enjoy the 100, 200, 300, 400.
Onward and upward, by golly. And
Onward and
I mean this 100%, Draco. You have been a big part of that, as well as everybody who's here in the chat listening to the stream.
I'm glad I could help you. If anything, my own aspiration for a channel would be weak to nothing, since I spend most of my time at work and I'm not going to commit to anything. Well, that's what's going on. So
yeah, it does make it hard.
If I can season someone else's channel a little good, so be it.
There you go.
Here.
Well, I appreciate it, brother. And hopefully you can listen in on the stream side, since you're having trouble with the connection, man. But again, thank you so much for coming in always. And Mr. Freeze's point, complete, well-rounded comments, opinion, and facts. Couldn't agree more, man. You are an asset to this community, and to the places where you're able to be a part of it. And couldn't thank you enough. Can you try to give us a quick comment on what you thought of the opening of Mando before you drop? Oh, I think we may have already lost him.
I think we lost him.
Oh, man. But yeah, it was, for me, like I said, 7.5 out of 10. And that's solid.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Did this hit the 9-10 range? No, absolutely not. Where it missed for me was we didn't get any real advancement of the serialized story that is part of this, right?
Yeah.
That's
all been the problem for a while.
Yeah, in season 1, you got kind of the opening 3 episodes advanced the story, and kind of the final the final 2 episodes advanced the story, and then you had kind of the adventures of the week in between, which I don't necessarily have a problem with that approach, but
in this day and age, it's tough. It's like back in like the 60s when they were doing it with Star Trek, it's a different thing. These are the continuing adventures of, and then they would be completely standalone. So you would just leave the show and you'd come back, and then, you assume some things happened in between, and, Kirk's up to some new shenanigans. And it's like, with this show, there is a through line. Like there is a plot, like a start and a finish that they're trying to work towards, right? I mean, something's going on with Baby Yoda. Something's going on with the former Empire. Where's it going? But they just take these little detours around that for a while. And it's just like, well, I know there's no stakes in these little side adventures because they've got nothing to do with the overall story. So whatever it is, he's going to fix it and come back. And then we'll get on with the Baby Yoda thing. It's like, so you're kind of wasting my time.
A little bit, right? I mean, if you look back and you think serialized versus episodic, I mean, Trek definitely tried to sort of start maybe in about season 3 of TNG. They started to bring some of that in where you did have, some important story arcs that were occurring mixed in with the episodic nature. And
I think the 90s, that's when that began. That's when that really started to be more constant. Yeah.
And you got a lot of that in DS9, right? I mean, DS9 really were able to weave that in, and they did it really well.
I find that to be more engaging. Like I think in shows sometimes, even like Seinfeld, they'd have a multiple episode arc, and I always find that really engaging. It's like, even like you'd watch it and then the next week you'd be like, oh, that's the same story I like that myself. I think a bigger story the better myself.
Yeah, and Vigilante Williamson makes a great comment here, and I think that he's really hit it on the head here. He likes the adventure of the week, but it works better in longer season shows. And when you're working with only 8 or 10 episodes, you really don't have the time to deviate.
No,
you've got your serialized story, and you got to tell it. Right.
And it's just not the model anymore. It's just not how we consume TV. And that's not to say everything needs to fit into this box, but you do have, your audience is trained in a certain way. And, if you're going to buck that, you need to, I think you got to, be a little bolder. You need to take a bigger swing because this is kind of a lukewarm middle ground that doesn't work on either level.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Draco was saying. I mean, almost you practically quoted him.
Yeah, great minds.
There you go, man. I mean, you just point they've got to ramp it up and stop playing safe at this stage. And the season opener was still playing it safe. Was it a Star Wars story? Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Did it do anything for the greater story of what's happening in The Mandalorian? No. I mean, he went out, not terribly dissimilar from the whole Mudhorn thing where there was somebody had something he wanted. So he helped him kill a monster to get what he wanted. And that was basically the whole show. They threw in some good Easter eggs here and there. I mean, you had Tamora Morrison cameo right at the end. The Boba Fett armor was kind of the thing that he was after, but it was a side quest episode.
Yeah, I don't like that. I just don't care for it because we know that as the audience, there's no stakes in this because we know that there's a bigger story at play, and no matter what happens here, it's not going to affect anything. See, that was the thing that bugged me with the Mudhorn episode. It was like, okay, so he goes and gets the egg just so he could get his parts back. But like literally the only thing that came out of it that moved the story was Yoda's got powers. Other than that, nothing else would have been different. Like they rebuilt their ship in a night, which was insane. And then like there was no new abilities or the ship wasn't like more wonky or something like literally nothing came out of that except for Yoda's got force powers. It's just like, because it wasn't even a goal. It was just to get back on track. It wasn't even like, oh, we've got to get this if I don't get this, I can't do it. It's just like, no, I just need my ship back, so I have to do this. It was empty. And I remember a lot of episodes were like that. The Bill Burr episode was like that. The one with the other bounty hunter on that he met in the bar, it was like that. It was like, this means nothing. We know this is going nowhere. And I just think, I don't know how long they can maintain a model like that and keep people interested. Personally.
Yeah. And I think that Vigilante made a good point, though. You can have little side quest episodes if you've got a 23 episode season.
Now, as I recall, was Firefly like that?
Oh Lord, I mean, Firefly only had the one season,
Right. But
right?
it's a beloved show.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
unquestionably.
And as I recall, I think it kind of did do that. It sort of did have a big story and side quests.
Yeah. And side quests are fine when you've got a big, gap of time to fill. But when it's this tight 8-episode arc, I mean, you don't have time for the side quests. You just don't.
No, you don't. And it's just a waste of time. And also too, because and the thing is too, because I noticed it rewatching last night that the Mudhorn episode's a side quest. All right, I don't like that, whatever. But that's because as I'm watching it, I know I've got other episodes that I can watch as soon as this one's over. When you're watching it weekly, you don't have that luxury. So you waited a week, and now you get a meaningless side quest episode, and now you have to wait another week until the next episode comes out. It's not very satisfying.
Yeah, it definitely not in a serialized story that that is coming.
Right.
If this was TNG, I mean, I remember watching that weekly growing up, and 90% of the episodes were little adventures of the week, side quests, so to speak.
Yeah, oh yeah, totally.
But I mean, you still had kind of some overarching. I mean, they really started doing it in DS9 more so than TNG, where you really had, to Mr. Freeze's point right here, they had 20 plus episodes a season, and they had the mix. I mean, fair observation though, that it, maybe the mix wasn't shuffled correctly. They had the right idea, but maybe how you mixed it together wasn't quite right.
It's a timing thing too, I think.
Yes.
Like what's that? A Black Mirror is one of those shows where it's anthology, so each episode is a standalone thing, and that works. Was a big hit for a while. But the thing is, you're introduced to a new set of characters every single time, so you are aware this is a separate episode. I can't think of anything that is an adventure of the week that is a hit. I can't think of anything.
Is there even an adventure of the week show on TV right now?
Not that I can think of. No.
I mean, everything being produced right now that I can think of is in this condensed season with a serialized story. I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, you look at the JL show, right? I mean, that was it 8 or was it 10 episodes on that?
What's
one?
the JL show?
Well, I'm not going to, give it the honor of giving his real name. So
I honestly don't.
Star Trek Picard, man, JL,
okay.
JL, right?
Got it.
Yeah, they always called him JL instead of, which in some ways makes it at least minorly redeemable because I can at least believe it's not the real Picard.
Yeah, but it's the real Patrick Stewart, which that sucks.
Yeah.
That moment of silence.
Yeah. So JL, I mean, okay, that's serialized. STD, it's serialized. It's a singular story, period.
Yeah. It's the model. I don't even think they make Adventure of the Week stuff anymore.
You know what?
I haven't.
I can think of one. It's a horrible, terrible example, but there is still one kind of on the air.
Okay.
Doctor Who.
Okay. Doctor Who. Yeah. And then I guess anything that's like a Law and Order kind of thing, those are like that. They're not genre, but it is like where they just end it. The story's ended that week.
Yeah, those are. I mean, I've always been a big SVU fan. Love that show, man.
Yeah. I mean, I look at those kind of like reality TV. It's like from the outside, you're like, you don't get it until you sit down and watch it, and then you're just like, more.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I'm missing the fall season of Survivor. I'm a huge reality TV fan. The older ones, not some of the newer crap that they put out, but like
Sure.
your Survivor's always been, kind of the standard bearer of reality TV in many ways. And I remember watching the first season of that.
Everyone watched that.
Yeah. and
Everywhere.
And I've watched every season since.
Oh, wow. Right.
Oh,
on.
yeah.
See, I don't even have cable. So I don't I've been a cord cutter for a while. So it doesn't even cross my path anymore. It's funny. I was talking with my friend Lindsay, who I I've done a bunch of shows with. She's been absent, but we might stream this week. So
excellent.
Fingers crossed for that. Yeah, she's great. But I was telling her about, did you ever see the Joe Schmo show?
Yes.
That was one of my favorite reality shows ever. That was one of my favorite things I've ever seen. Like, I remember I watched it I was like 18, and I watched it with a friend of mine, I worked with, and we just went back to her house. And we just popped it on, like, what is this? And then we became obsessed, and every week had to watch what was going on with the Joe Schmo show. And it was one of the most engaging, but also adorable, sweet, reality shows that I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
There's nothing wrong with that, man.
No, man.
There is nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Now, you see, Red Shirt's got it on the head. So I misspoke. Doctor Who these days is the lecture of the week.
Thank you. Yes. The lesson. Yes.
Oh God, man. I have been thinking about what I wanted to talk about. See, look at that. Ginger read my mind. She typed it into the chat before I even said it.
That's what it is. It's absolutely.
But it's I've been thinking about it because Who was one of my absolute favorites. And it was said a few minutes ago in the chat, and kind of skipped by it a little bit too fast, but Geek Tropology pointed out that in 05, Doctor Who did it perfectly with the serialized versus episodic. And I agree completely. I just finished rewatching the Eccleston season, literally today, on the plane coming back from Orlando. I watched The Parting of Ways.
I tell you, Jake, I don't want to be kicked out of this stream, but I have never seen an episode of Doctor Who.
Not once. Oh man. Oh God. Well, here's the trick. It's the modern era started with Christopher Eccleston back in 05.
That the guy with the chin. Right?
And the ears.
Yeah, it's big features. Yeah.
And it ended with Peter Capaldi at the end of the 10th season. Okay. 11 and 12 just don't even bother.
And that's the new one. That's the Jodie one. The Jodie.
Yeah, that's Dr. Karen.
Dr. Karen. Yeah.
That is Dr. Karen.
I've gotten so much of my knowledge from watching Gary, I mean, because I remember when that happened, when they cast her, and there was this huge, because I know Who fans are very passionate and very
we are.
Yeah, genuinely. And everyone, and they're you guys saw it coming. You're like, oh no, what are they doing? Here it comes. Here comes the wave of bullshit. And all the people on Twitter are like, oh my God, all these guys are so offended. A girl's not a big deal. And they're acting, and it's you corrupted. I don't think anyone could have foreseen, because I guess I'm not a fan, but I know through Gary that what they did is irreversible. That they changed the soul. It's like bringing back Palpatine in the Star Wars things. It's you've just undone everything that came before it in service of your new bullshit.
Oh yeah, and that is 100%. One of the things I was thinking about and kind of teeing that up as a topic for the show tonight, and that. So before I get into that real quick, I want to say welcome to my buddy Polly from Latino Slant. Polly, your shout out on Friday, made this 100 sub celebration possible, my friend. And I appreciate it, man. I really do. That was super cool. And thank you. How you doing this evening, my man?
Orale, what's up, my brother?
So I don't think you guys have had a chance to meet yet. So
Oh yeah, I know Foulball.
All
Yeah, I
right.
think in the members stream, he lives in LA. This guy, right?
Yes, he does.
This guy.
Yes.
This guy.
This guy.
This guy. What am I gonna do about this guy? How you
Not
doing? How you doing, Foul?
bad, man. Not bad, brother. How about yourself?
Good. We're lots going on. Oh, and that it has nothing to do with what's gonna happen tomorrow.
Ooh, tomorrow's a big day. Tomorrow's a big old day.
What do you got coming up tomorrow, brother?
Me and the Slant are actually going to Atlanta, Georgia for 3 days.
Yes. That's tomorrow because you got a best of show this week on Thursday.
Yeah, which took a dump. I had it. I've been working on it since yesterday, and I had it done. And I was trying to save space, and I accidentally got rid of some of the original video files. So
No! Oh.
It's gonna be the best of none.
Well, you can always go and re-record your streams.
Or just
Try to walk your way through it.
Yeah, screenshot. Play the YouTube videos of them.
Yeah.
It was really cool,
That's
man.
rough.
It was it was really well put together. Anyways, I just wanted to say hi for a little while.
Dude, I appreciate you popping in, Paulie. You got any thoughts on Mando, man? We've been chatting Mando for a while.
That good, eh? It knocked you out. It was so impressive. Oh.
It literally knocked me out. It literally knocked me out.
right.
Hey, how you doing?
And hey, it's 32 Flavor Flames.
Oh, it's a party. Oh, now it's a party. Oh, hey, what are you doing here, Paul?
You got a big mouth, you know that. You talking to me.
Oh, shit.
Nickweiser, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good, man. Congratulations, by the way. It's about bloody time. You deserve this. Very well deserved. No, seriously. So other than that, I'm good. I just got done being dad for the day. So, and I'm like, oh hey, I think Jake's got a stream. And I'm like, oh, he's still on. Yes, yes. There's still hope. And hail to the chat.
All right, man. Now, hey, being dad, that is a very, very important thing that we I know Polly's dealing with that. I deal with that. Nick does. I don't know about you, Matt, but
No, sir. No.
He's just like, I need to save that
Damn,
money, guys.
Matt, I gotta go. I'm gonna listen to the show though, but I literally, Mrs. Slant put the hammer down and I gotta go vacuum.
all right, man. Dude, I understand when Mrs. Slant calls, you probably better answer.
Hey,
Later, man.
later, Paulie.
Thanks for
man.
stopping in, Paulie.
Yeah. All right, peace.
Yeah.
I like
All
that.
right, gents. So what you been talking about today? Talk to me.
Yeah, well, we were just sort of finishing up talking about Mando, man. Would you?
Ah, nice. Okay.
So
Dude,
I watched your
I just
review.
wanted to say, I like that Nickweiser, like I like that he eats the mic and he's got like a rock star kind of energy. He's like,
Yeah, that's kind of my nature, you know.
I love it.
So,
I
thank
love
you,
it. It's
thank
great.
you, man.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
I swear, one of these days, Nick, I'm gonna send you a boom mic. I swear to God.
he needs a stand with like bandanas on it so he can be like, woo, Mando. You do like kicks and stuff while he tells
some
about-
Chuck Norris roundhouse kicks too. Oh, bro, it's on like Donkey Kong. Oh, it's on. It's on now.
But if we do that, we're gonna need to get him one of those cams that'll track his movement, right?
Like move with him, like an AI cam. Yeah, he needs a cam bot. He needs a cam bot.
There you go. So give me your thoughts, man. I watched your take on the episode the other day. What you kind of expand a little bit, man? Would you give us your 1 minute pitch on chapter 9?
Well, the Marshal was awesome. Simply put, the Marshal was awesome. Trying to think here.
Hey, you know what? Sorry, Nick. I don't mean to cut you off. I'm gonna pull out right now. I'll let you guys do it from here because I got a hot date tonight, guys. I gotta go. Waiting for me, so I can't keep her waiting.
No.
So I'm gonna head out.
May the force be with you on this date.
Thank you, Nick.
My pleasure.
All right. Hey, Jake.
I'm gonna reach out. I'm just gonna say I hope you're not listening to the stream.
Come back all dejected, hey guys. So Mando, but hey Jake, man, this is great, and congratulations, man. I'm really happy.
I appreciate it, man. And you got the contact info, so anytime you're. Anytime I can make it, if you're wanting to stream something over on your channel, I'll make sure you got the invites over here. We will definitely be doing this again, brother.
Right on. Yeah, thanks for having me. I wish I could stay longer, but you guys have a blast.
You betcha again.
Take it easy, bud.
Thanks.
And I'll make sure I will get Foulball Productions link into the description on the stream. And, again, anybody who has not had a chance to sub over there to Matt, again, he does great content. He's covering the hell out of The Expanse and just a great fan with a great voice. And I'm looking forward to seeing his channel grow significantly. I mean it.
All
right, man. Don't keep that date waiting. Don't keep that date waiting.
Thank you, guys. And hail chat. Thank you all.
All right. Take it easy.
All right. So
Flavor Flav.
All
All right. Let's hear the Mando.
So the Marshal was awesome. I actually dug the encounter with them and the Beast. I really dug the encounter. I do feel like the episode didn't feel like a proper season intro, even though I also know that it's titled Chapter 9. So the episode feels like it could have been like a middle of the road episode. So it did feel a little bit misplaced, but overall it was still solid. It was still a solid episode. I enjoyed it. I mean, at times, I feel like you could have trimmed out like 5 minutes of fat maybe from it too as well.
That was about my take. About 5 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and which is weird because I feel like some of the episodes on season 1 were too short. Now you're like, guys, a little too much now. Slow it down. So
yeah. Well, this was the longest one they put on air yet. So
yes, oddly,
it's. And Favreau, as good of a director and a writer as he is still getting used to the weekly television medium.
Oh, yeah. And
so
that's funny you mentioned that whole thing because I feel like this show in particular, along with like what happened with Rebels and Clone Wars, it feels like season 1 was all these shows. Season 1 was trying to find their grooves, and it's season 2 where they start to like go full throttle. I'm hoping this goes 3 for 3 because Clone Wars, at least for me, it was just like but season 2 is like as shit starts to get real, and Rebels picks up as well. And I'm hoping maybe Mando definitely had some great moments in season 1, especially those last 3 episodes. Like you had the Dirty Dozen episode equivalent with Bill Burr. I mean, it was just Bill Burr playing Bill Burr, but it was still freaking entertaining. Like, how could you not be entertained by Bill Burr? First off,
I mean, it was an entertaining episode, and the one with the prison break ship, right? That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that was an entertaining episode for me, but at the same time, it was just kind of out of place.
It was, and here's the thing. I don't know if this is like a Favreau or Filoni or a both of them thing. I don't know. I'm wondering if these guys are trying to figure out if they're episodic by nature or are they trying to be a long form. Like the greater plot lies within the whole context of the season finale with the whole big bad ending. Because some episodes they feel very individual-ish, but then you see some threads kind of come together, like the way they did in season 1. But if you watch certain episodes, it feels like they don't know which one they want to be, or if they're trying to be both.
Yeah, and that exact thought we were talking about a little bit earlier where they're doing an adventure of the week and they're doing a serialized storytelling at the same time. And unfortunately, these are only 8-episode seasons, and you can't do both.
No, with an eight episodes you can't, and that's definitely so. Because at that point, you're just jam packing in, and when it gets too excessive, like then we're stuffed, and we're like, oh, too much, guys. No, I'm stuffed. It's like someone trying to feed you your 10th meal after you've had 9 meals on Thanksgiving. Like, guys, that's it. That's it, man. That's it. That's it.
I'm not gonna have any more. I'm done.
I'm done. I love it, but no more.
I can't eat any more stuffing. Oh God!
God,
apple
I'm gonna
pie?
explode.
Apple pie? Wait, no. There's apple pie, Nick.
Oh, especially if it's apple crumble pie, bro. You know apple crumble pie. Oh, the crumble.
That's my specialty.
Oh, the special. Oh.
I don't know. I'm serious.
Oh no, I believe you. I could see the look in your eyes and the enthusiasm just like skyrocketing. I was just like, oh
hey,
shit.
What can I say? My mother is an amazing baker and an amazing cook, and I've got all of her recipes.
Oh, you're just. Oh man, I might just have to throw some money where I'd be like, all right, hey, I need you to like have your mom make some of these recipes so I can try them out. Ginger House, let's just talk about Thanksgiving food now. I mean, I could talk about food all day. So you're preaching to the echo chamber here with the food talk. I mean,
just don't go eating Popeye's chicken for Thanksgiving. promise me that, Nick. Promise me that. Okay?
No, dude. I'm gonna do the mashed potatoes and the corn and the stuffing and the cranberry.
So you're going to KFC?
For the original recipe.
No extra crunchy for you?
No. And I'm going to get a famous bowl, too. I'm going to get a bucket-sized famous bowl. It's probably going to be the best heart attack ever.
For anybody who's not familiar, Nick, in addition to doing, stuff like we're talking about with the Mandalorian, things like that, 32 Flavors is absolutely a part of what Nick does over on his channel, food reviews and things like that. So it's, so that's where this is coming from. He's got a unique voice, which is one of the things that brings people to the channels, right? Because you develop and you build that unique voice and the piece about you that is uniquely you.
Oh yeah, I mean it's funny because I have some people who tell me that they'll watch like my pop culture rants, and then I got people who tell me that they watch the food videos, and there's nothing wrong with that. If I'm a go-to for one category, that's not a bad thing. I don't expect everyone to watch every single video. I mean, if they do, hey, awesome, great, bring on the views, man. But one of those things, if I can be a go-to at least in one area, I'm good with that, man. And
there you go.
Yeah. Last year, my family went to Cracker Barrel for Thanksgiving. It was the best, bro. Oh, dude. They had those, God. What was it? The gift shop at Cracker Barrel. The gift shop was the root of all evil. I spent like $150 there. Oh, dude, I was my own worst mortal nemesis. I was like Dr. Doom in there.
I dread going to Cracker Barrel with the kids because they get mesmerized by the tchotchkes. Right? Right? You go through the gift shop at the end. And as dad, I do not get out of there without buying some tchotchkes for the kids.
Oh, of course. And dude, you find like all these like obscure brands of things like that, like you don't see anymore. They still make that. I must have it. So before you know, I'm making all these like obscure root beers from ages of yore. I'm like, bro, it's on like Donkey Kong. Give it to me. My dad used to cook and baby. Oh my god. All right, where can I fly out to see your dad for barbecue, bro? Mr. Freeze?
Dude, I got a big old 22-pound turkey that I'm dropping on the Traeger this year for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Bro. You better drop some photos on the Discord of that thing. I'm just saying, I need to see this turkey. That way when I look up, like, I seen it. I seen Jake D's turkey. and it was mighty fabulous.
Well, I mean, if you really need to see the feast that we're preparing, by God, we'll throw some. You know what? Maybe I'll even do a little video of it and drop it on the channel. Why not? Right?
Yes.
The apple pie, the Traeger turkey, the mashed potatoes. You know, I mean, the whole bang, right?
Oh man, I love how we just derailed.
I don't know how these streams will go fucking anywhere. I don't know.
And it's gelling. It's gelling like gelatin, man. I tell you what. Not turkey. Turkey.
There is a difference. You know, that makes me think of Doctor Who. You know, because every Christmas Eve they go to war with the people of Turkey and then they eat them, right?
And they eat.
You know, back when the show was still good, right?
When it was an actual TV show, an actual entertainment show.
Yes.
A TV show where it brought people together, you know, when it was about fandom and there was actual writers and character development. Things were actually moving. Which I'm just summing up every other property. I mean, to be very, very fair and blunt. Yeah. Bro.
So
Hollywood.
You know, I came to a decision today, and it's why I tossed it into the stream for tonight, that I am going to attack seasons 11 and 12 of Doctor Who full on. I need to let my rage have an outlet for what's been done to Doctor Who. And yeah, accidental tourist, exactly.
Just lost my appetite.
Exactly. And that's why I need to do this, because it was, you know, I can't say that I had high hopes, but I was going into season 11 with an open mind.
You were trying to be sorry. Were you trying to say, okay, maybe this could actually work, only to like see that it didn't? Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when we saw the trailer for, you know, the official reveal of Jodie as the next Doctor. And I watched it with my daughters because my oldest daughter is a huge Who fan. She adores Capaldi. You know, she once told me that when she grew up, she wanted to marry the bow tie doctor.
What, bro?
And then she looked at me and said, wait, he's already married, isn't he? You know, and so I went into it with an open mind, and my daughters were looking forward to it. They thought it was cool that there was going to be a girl doctor. And, you know, so like in wanting to, you know, keep that connection, because especially my oldest daughter, her and I really connect about Doctor Who because she loves all this nerd shit just like we do.
Oh, nice.
Right? I mean, she's a huge fan. And so she was super excited about it. So I was excited with her, right? Because it's the show that we love, and my kid's kind of thrilled. And then we start watching it.
Oh, look at your enthusiasm going down. You're like, yeah. Oh, I feel that dad hurt. I know that dad hurt. I could feel it, even though you're all the way in Texas, right? I can feel that.
Oh, okay. You know, I mean, anybody who's a parent, when you see something like that, just kind of like crush your kid. I mean, anybody who's a parent understands that feeling, man. I know you do. Because all of our kids go through that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so seeing that, like, it made it even worse. I mean, as bad as it was that Doctor Who was now ruined for me, the fact that it is now ruined for my daughter makes it that much worse.
That's like, ow! That's like the final nail to the coffin equivalent. Like, ouch!
Yeah, and I mean, just to really just illustrate how huge of a failure this was.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter is literally the target demo. She was 10 years old. She was a Who fan. And this is like if they had, gotten a picture of who their target demo was for this whole bringing Jodie out thing. Mm-hmm. It was literally my daughter.
Mm-hmm. She
hates it. Absolutely hates it.
And she's right around the age too where she'll know if she truly likes something, or I would assume she's also going to speak her mind at that point if she doesn't. So you would know if you're getting a little, because sometimes when the children's a bit younger, they want to please their parents by saying the positive answer. But if she's discovered at that point where she's not afraid to be honest, that should speak even more volumes about the situation. That speaks like drastic measures, if anything. So, ouch, dude.
Yeah, and Chibnall destroying Doctor Who for my kids is exactly why I am going to go into this. So Gary over at Nerdrotic has spent the last 8 months working on his Picard review. It's going to be like his magnum opus of television reviews, right? I mean, that is what he is doing with this thing. And that's what I've got in my head for what I'm going to do to seasons 11 and 12 of Doctor Who. And, because I was thinking about it, like, so you're familiar with River Song, right? You know who River Song is.
I know of River Song, yeah.
Yeah. And
it's been a while, but yes.
Yeah, so I mean, you remember because she was conceived on the TARDIS in the proximity of the time vortex and all this, she was actually at least somewhat Time Lord in the sense that she had the ability to regenerate and things like that. We saw that character regenerate several times on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And she got the ability to regenerate because of her proximity to the time vortex when she was conceived, right? So, I mean, she was born with the ability. And then we get this timeless child shit at the end of the last season, at the end of season 12. And
oh, man, you went farther than I did. Oh, bro. Go on, though. I'm listening.
Yeah. And so we've got established the Doctor's wife. The Doctor's wife was able to regenerate through a natural event that occurred, something very unique in her own history. And then the Timeless Children says that no, regeneration was really a backwards, genetic engineering of this unique thing that was, the being who eventually became the Doctor, and they perverted it and they stole it and they worked it into their own DNA. It's like,
what?
Well, how the fuck does that jive with the origin of River Song?
I'm trying to process all that. Oh my god, what?
Right? So
what?
How does that even fucking work?
How does that make sense?
It doesn't.
It doesn't make sense. Oh, I feel like I may have lost a little IQ right then and there, hearing that all over again. Okay, you're refreshing my memory a little bit from someone telling me way back. Oh my god. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I have to laugh at this because that's how bad.
Well, exactly, right? It is so goddamn laughable. It's insane.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can breathe.
And that's exactly why she's Dr. Karen Texas Shire. That is exactly why I will never call her anything but Dr. Karen. And I have to admit, I enjoy the fact that that's taking a piss at the at the Jody bots when I say it because they hate it.
Oh, of course. Well, is it funny? Was it a few weeks or a few months ago? Correct me if memory serves correct. Did she like somehow just come out about being non-binary? So I'm like, so does that mean she's no longer the first female? Like, so what is she now?
I mean, she's not even the first. She's not only she's no longer the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, because now we have the first female of color doctor played by Joe Martin. Except she wasn't the first female doctor of color either, because the original Timeless Child was actually the first female of color that played the being that eventually became the Doctor.
Oh my god!
It gets a little complex.
I was gonna say, I think you mean the word convoluted here. I think we're gonna go with convoluted here. This seems like Matrix sequel convoluted. Like, that's like, I'm just ready for that Colonel Sanders lookalike from Reloaded to just pop up and just start going on for 10 minutes except with Dr. Whovian dialogue.
Yeah, well, you should be confused, Mr. Breeze, and Nick. You guys should be confused by this because it was written by a bunch of daytime soap opera fucking writers.
What did they call the Maury show? It's like, hey, we need you to step up to the Who land.
It's it's the writers for Doctor Who. Their resume is either like nothing or daytime soaps on the BBC, like straight up.
Oh man,
yeah.
Daytime soaps on the BBC. That already just sounds depressing. I don't want to see Brits get all soapy. I mean, I like them when they're funny, you know, like IT Crowd. But bro, come on, soapy.
I mean, that's definitely not who should be writing Doctor Who.
No, maybe they were they're the big old mod diversity hires. Maybe they were the hat. For all we know,
they were. They were. Okay.
Lo and behold.
Yeah, rejects from the Graham Norton show. Yes, among other places of origin. You know.
Oh, I see right now. Vigilante Williamson. Bro, I feel you, man. I was there opening night at the theater for Matrix Reloaded, and when that Colonel Sanders lookalike came back and showed up at the end talking to Keanu Reeves for like 20 minutes about dialogue that meant absolutely nothing, I'm like, what the hell is this anymore? Oh, yeah, I love you, Keanu. I do. Nothing changes there, but
I mean, Ginger sums it up nicely for you. What you need to know is it made no sense in the 55 years of the show. Everything they did made no goddamn sense at all.
Yeah, I could tell at this point. I can really tell this doesn't make sense. They literally just threw this together and said, "We're gonna just expect you to roll with it."
Yeah,
it doesn't matter how we got from point A to point B. This is what it's gonna be.
And you know, to Geek Tropology's point, if they let the janitor write the series, it would be way better. And he's exactly right, 100%.
I know
on
about
the
the janitor.
Oh, the janitor could do better than this.
Yeah. Oh,
at least the janitor would have an excuse if it was shit.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I was working with some shit today, so I put it into the script. I figured, why not?
Oh man.
Yeah. And yes, it ruins actual plots and conflicts of the past. Absolutely, it does. So let's take a big one. Matt Smith's gift of the regenerations at the end of the Time of the Doctor.
Okay, you're talking pretty back. Okay, go on.
So Matt Smith was supposed to have been the final incarnation of the Doctor.
Supposed to.
Okay, it was the end of his regeneration cycle. He was the 13th version of the Doctor. No more regenerations because there's only 12 regenerations. And so he's literally dying on Trenzalore, trying to defend the crack in time and space that the Time Lords were trying to come through from the Daleks at the end. And, so at Clara's urging, the Time Lords decide to go ahead and close the rift. But before they do that, they send a new cycle of regenerations to the Doctor through this crack, right? And Smith has this great, they've got him looking like Hartnell, right? Because he aged in this episode like 700 years, 800 years. I forget, 700 or 800 years, I forget. And
Okay,
and
go
so
on.
so he's looking. He's a decrepit old man. He's aged so much, right?
Mhm.
And he actually looked a hell of a lot like William Hartnell, which was a great touch that I loved. And the Time Lords had to send him a new regeneration cycle. And he uses that to destroy the Daleks and save the planet and all the people and all of this, right? And that was the explanation for how he was even able to get to becoming Capaldi to begin with. It had to be gifted and granted by the Time Lords. Well, if the Doctor is the timeless child who is literally immortal and has unlimited regeneration ability, this was completely unfucking necessary.
Well, sounds like it. I'm right now. I'm trying to like put this together. Like, whoa, like, okay. I'm sorry. I'm right now. I'm kind of at a loss for words at all this right now. Go on though. I have.
Yeah, so like this was like a titular, like huge stakes event that you didn't know how it was going to get solved because there was a problem. He's at the end of the regenerations.
Yeah.
And so now the timeless child reveal like completely destroys this entire episode.
So it sounds like they damaged the continuity and past plot threads for this. It sounds like so. Okay, so they change how this for the sake of how they can go with this part of the story. Oh man, that's horrendous.
And that's just one little item, right? Or well, one big item.
Mm-hmm.
To Ginger's point about it ruining actual plots and conflicts of the past, right? That's one of the easiest ones to pull up. The very existence of River Song is another one. How in the hell does that even work?
Fuck.
So,
Fuck.
Well, it's timey-wimey. I don't know what to say,
I understand. I'm hurting for this whole crowd here because like I'm fairly, I've seen my share of Doctor Who, but not like every single last bit. But I can follow some tidbits. But staring this, I understand the Whovian hurt though, and now I'm going through all these comments. I'm like, oh my god,
Dude,
my god.
You think Jar Jar and Ruin fucked up Star Wars?
Okay.
You have no idea.
Okay, so now here's the thing. All right. So I've said this to people, when properties get like absolutely damaged, fandom properties get absolutely damaged. I'm not expecting Who to turn it around, but let's just pretend that they somehow did. Do you think it could be what it once was? Because I don't know of any property on my hand that could turn around and be what it once was. Because so many properties have done that where it's one thing when you have like, I guess you could say like a badly run season, but when you divide the fan base, be it Star Wars, Star Trek, DC, yada, yada.
It's worse than just dividing the fan base. And Mr. Freeze is not wrong. It's like they blew up a Vulcan sun into the black hole of Interstellar, and then they sent Bill and Ted back to Narnia in order to recruit Frodo and Sam to be more SJW.
It's funny.
That's what the timeless children did to Doctor Who.
I'm sorry, Whovians. I'm so sorry.
And that's
I really am.
Yeah. And that's why I think I need to do a magnum opus of YouTube videos on the destruction of Doctor Who under Chibnall.
Your swan song, your parting of ways.
Oh no, it's not going to be a swan song. Yeah, and Vigilante Williamson is exactly right. It's the canon is completely unsalvageable at this point. Everything that they've done is so destructive that there is no going back. There is no way to fix this. It was, Red Shirt's dead on. It was a nuke dropped on 57 years of Doctor Who.
That's awful. That's God, and that seems to be an ongoing issue nowadays with many of the properties. They're changing the canon to suit what they want to aim towards, and when they change that part, it ruins the continuities of all these legendary stories. We could say, like,
Yes.
oh man,
Yeah. Now, if you think about, let's talk about the state of Star Wars for a second in comparison to the state of Doctor Who. So Star Wars, we're enjoying The Mandalorian. I am.
We can at least say
I
yes,
am
I'm at least enjoying it. Yeah,
The Mandalorian.
absolutely. Yeah.
And there is a potential of a path forward, pathing from The Mandalorian, and particularly if these things that Doomcock has been hearing were trial balloons, like I think they were.
Mm-hmm.
There is at least some kind of plan in place to repair things that has a chance of working. You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah. I know what you mean. And I think it's going to help on my end, Jake. I think I've dodged like 20 bullets because I still to this day have not seen Fall of Skywalker. And maybe that's going to help make it even more bearable for me to get by Mandalorian. Because I just saw the Last Jedi, the first showing at my local theater. And I was just like, kind of like, I got out of it like, what the hell just happened? It took a bit for me for that to sink in. But I did recognize right at the bat, they changed up some shit just to suit the story that they want to do. They hired activists. Like every other property nowadays, they're hiring activists. They're not hiring fans or genuine writers. I don't feel like you have to be a fan going to private, but if you can at least understand like the mythology of something, then you can adapt to it. You gotta become the story, not the story becomes you.
Yes,
and that's how it should be. But here we
are.
The
red shirt's point right here, right?
They have to. Yep.
Because what they're writing is so bad.
Oh yeah.
You know, everything from the exactly.
They go in there, they destroy the thing, and then they make a mess, and then they just leave it there, and leaving no one to clean up, and it's just everything's a disaster. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's sad. It's funny because I always thought, oh man, there's. And Who had one of the first traces of it, if I recall correctly. I feel like Who definitely took one of the first beatings of it. Who was definitely early on of taking the beatings of that. But then they went straight for the top. Like, we could do this because, God, they went straight to the top with Star Wars. And
I mean, there is a path back for Star Wars. And mainly because we got Favreau and Filoni in there, and it was big enough to weather the damage as long as they don't keep going down that same road. You know, you can undo the sequel trilogy. Star Trek's got some outs in canon due to time travel, right?
Does that mean I get a refund?
I hope so.
Because hey, if we're gonna do that trilogy, give me my $25 back for 7 and 8, man. Give me my money back. And I want it straight from Rian Johnson and Jar Jar. Give me their money from their individual wallets. I want to see the receipts. I hope that, so I know we're getting too far back into Star Wars, but yeah, if you undo those trilogies, man, would that make everything seem like such a waste of time? Because especially now we lost Carrie Fisher, and we all know Harrison Ford didn't even want to do Force Awakens. He did that just so his character could finally die.
He wanted to die in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, yes, he did. Yeah, he did. He wanted to die then. So he's just like, all right, give me my movie so I can just get this death over with. So, yeah, oh, God. So you bring in Luke. And how much is Luke going to want to do it, though? Mark Hamill, Luke, yada, yada. We get it. Yeah. How much is he going to want to do after what has happened? Like, he was vocal from the beginning. Unlike Whovians or Star Trekians, he was vocal from the beginning.
Trekkies. Get it right.
Yeah. Whovians, Trekkies, Marvelites, DCers. I'm coming up with names right now.
All right. There is a path back for Star Wars, and I agree. There is potential to get some outs for Trek to get rid of the crap, but who was destroyed fundamentally at its core in a way that's irreparable. It is completely and fully and totally irreparable. It because they literally rewrote it back to its very first, even before its first day.
So they actually did their homework a little bit, and they say, "Okay, we're gonna fuck this up."
Oh no,
hey!
they didn't do their homework. They just completely fucked it up because they had an agenda to tell.
Oh, they had an agenda to tell, but they were like, "Hey, let's go back to where this all started, and let's ruin all the way dating back to that point." Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's how they did their homework. They did their homework in a very negative way, is what I'm saying. Like, oh, how far is it? Okay, let's ruin it all. Let's burn it all down.
Oh, I can't agree that they really did their homework, to be honest with you. I don't think they had a guy. Well, an example why they didn't do their homework. So they introduced Joe Martin as the Ruth Doctor. Okay.
I know Joe Martin is.
So who, to her credit, I believe that she was the doctor more in her 10 minutes of screen time than I believe to this day that Dr. Karen is actually the doctor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I saw. I think I did 2 to 3 episodes of the Whitaker stuff, and I couldn't even finish it. So my hats off to anyone who can go beyond that.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm tuning out. I mean, you all got some patience that I don't. Maybe that's why I didn't tune in Fall of Skywalker. Like, I run out of patience when shit hits the fan. So
but I mean, Vigilante Williamson again is exactly right. It's like saying that Batman imagined everything that happened to him. So his mom and dad getting killed? Nah, that didn't happen.
Oh,
that never happened.
That would be. Oh man,
that's what the Timeless Children is to Doctor Who. That origin that you knew for 60 years. Nah, it didn't exist.
Oh man, so I guess we might as well just not make Superman be from Krypton anymore. Like, oh my god. Ouch, dude, that's a retcon and a half, man. That's a terrible retcon.
Yes, it's exactly like saying that Kal-El was never actually from Krypton.
And he was just never Kal-El somehow. He just had powers.
Yeah, that's how to the core this is.
Oh.
So, but yeah, so I mean
what happened? What happened? I'm on a stream. I can't talk right now. I'm on a stream.
Yes, I'm on a stream. I can't talk right now.
I'm on a fucking stream.
Well, welcome back, Paulie. I wasn't expecting you to pop back in, brother.
Yeah, man, I'm having fun listening to you guys. I'm like,
hey, fancy seeing you.
Hey.
Now, did you get the vacuuming done? Because that's what Mrs. Slant wants to know.
I vacuumed the entire house. I was listening to you guys the whole time, and I scrubbed the shower tiles, scrubbed the toilet, scrubbed the stove, did some dishes. I'm doing everything can.
And then you ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich without washing your hands, right?
She's looking at me laughing. I'm gonna show you right now. There she is. Wave, baby.
Hey!
They can't hear you, buddy.
Is that Thundercat shirt?
Thundercats? What?
I thought she was rocking.
Oh no, she's wearing my my fitness logo for my fitness business.
Oh,
excellent.
Very good, man.
You know, I did want to finish my thought when I was about the Mando. Seriously, it has a huge identity problem as a show.
Oh yeah.
You know? I mean, I can't. I mean, you guys are like all like, I'm enjoying it. It's like, you guys smoke some junk or what? What's going on? Because it's
no,
like,
I don't disagree with you, but I want to hear your full thought.
No, It's the child's just a major crutch now. And I said this on the member strip. Hold on.
Man, what did I miss on Sunday?
On the membership stream. I said that it's almost worse now that you have Timothy Oliphant joining the cast, because you see how amazing that character is, Marshall, who could take it on and then take it off. And we need to see our lead character's eyes. We need to see.
Absolutely.
We need to see his, especially if he's the lead. So I think that's a major problem going forward for the Mandalorian.
The complaints that we were hearing that Pedro had during the filming of the season, they make sense, right? About not getting the chance to show his face. And then they may have very well stemmed out of filming with Oliphant, because he stole the show, man. Dude was great in that episode. He really was. Right? I mean
he's so amazing.
Oh, dude, Marshall is awesome. So good. Seriously, I was investing right off the bat. I'm like, this dude's awesome.
What, did you ever see him in Deadwood?
I have not. But now I'm going to. Now, because seriously, I'm like, this guy's awesome. I've seen his face around, but I've never seen that.
Have you seen Deadwood? Okay, chat, holler off right now. Who's seen Deadwood? Because you saw it.
I've seen a few episodes, not the whole thing.
Well, you just know how incredible Oliphant is.
Oliphant's great, man. I loved him in Die Hard. As the yeah. He was the villain in it was Die Hard 4, I think it was.
Live Free or Die Hard.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
So I think
he was. I forgot that.
I forgot that.
He was Thomas Gabriel, man.
I remember
he was great.
Now. You're taking me. Oh man,
He was great.
Crap. Yeah, he was. Dude.
Oh man. Now I'm going to do a quick shout out here, because we have
don't shout out
author.
Kai.
We have an author in the chat.
No, don't give him a shout out.
I'm giving him a shout out. Kai MFS, Space Crime Domino. He is a great creator of in our sphere of the Fandom Menace. He has written and published a book, and I am about a quarter into it because I don't get a lot of time to read. Sorry, Kai. But that's a lot further than I was last time I brought it up. I was only like 2 chapters in last time. And I'm enjoying it. It's got an engaging story, and anybody who's interested in, like Culture Casino says, we rise together, right? And we work together as a group, and so doing that, supporting the creators that are in our sphere, that's how we all rise together, right? Mm-hmm. Joining each other on streams, subbing to each other's content, working and collaborating. And, when somebody has done something that, frankly, it is not an easy thing to do for a guy like that to push a book out. And my goodness, Paulie, you've changed.
Paulie, what'd you do, dude? That's the quickest sex change I've ever seen, but hey, and hopefully it wasn't expensive. Bro. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What happened in the world?
Selena, baby.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, this episode with Oliphant as the Marshal proved that the complaint about the helmet was a valid one, right? It was said in the chat, and it sounds like we're going to be getting some more pretty powerful guest stars. So no wonder Pedro got pissed.
Look at Kai's comment, bro. Exactly. I do have the best rose. I still love the girl from last Friday. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Let me see what I can do about that.
See what you can do there, yeah. But yeah, man, it's I mean, seeing that performance with Oliphant against Pascal and the way that you definitely gravitated to Oliphant, and they're both talented actors.
Oh yeah,
right? I mean,
absolutely.
they absolutely are. Both these guys are talented actors. Both guys I would love to cast in every single show that I could. But you gravitated far more to Oliphant in the role of the Marshal than you did to our main lead of the Mando. And the issue was the helmet. Oliphant had his helmet off the whole goddamn episode, just about. Right? So what I'm hoping they do is, as part of the serialized story, that he is going to reach another covert or two. And, maybe what they can weave into the lore is that maybe this was something unique to, for lack of a better phrasing, his sect of
the
Mandalorians.
Mandalorians. Yeah, of his portion of the Mandalorians.
Yeah, so like his specific clan.
They need to, because with the way Sabine Wren was handled in Rebels, and with her having she just had her. I mean, she wore her helmet like a good amount, but she didn't have it on
right
every single moment of the show. And I feel like, and considering that Dave Filoni is instrumental in both properties, usually you think that inconsistency would happen with a different writer, but we're talking about the same guy involved here. That doesn't make sense. So, yeah, a particular section of the Mandalorians would definitely make this more acceptable, because right now, the fact that we had a whole one season, and now we're already in season 2, episode 1, which, like I said, I did enjoy, but there is definitely this inconsistency that I will still greatly acknowledge. I'm not going to ignore it.
Yeah, and it is absolutely fair to say that they got to solve this issue.
Oh yeah.
And prior to seeing Chapter 9, I was in the fuck you, keep the helmet on. This is the way camp. I really was.
So was I. I'll admit it. I was
because
vocal
this
on
is
that.
the way. That's what they established in season 1, chapters 1 through 8. That was the way it was. And it was cool. It was a creed, I dig it, right? And yeah, maybe he's a fundamentalist and there's other more modern Mandalorians. And I think there absolutely is, like to your point, Sabine, right? She took the helmet off. And, maybe absolutely he's a foundling. So what I'm hoping is the solve is to find a way for him to be able to do that. Because now that I have seen Chapter 9, he has got to take that helmet off, or he will be a guest star in his own show. And I get the complaint now so much. A week ago, nah. You're completely wrong, Pedro. I don't know what you're talking about. Today, and especially after watching that episode a couple more times, dude, not only does he have a point, he is absolutely right, and they got to do something.
Yeah. I agree, and now I'm hoping that they do work with him on that. That's a very, it literally changed it did change my mind on that because of how much I enjoyed the Marshal and just how invested I was right off the bat. That quick, within not even a whole episode, I'm just like, I'm dialed down on this guy, and yet, Mando, you see that compared to Mando, at times I was forgetting that I was paying attention to what was going on with Mando because of how great the Marshal was. It was just like, he was second fiddle in his own show. And usually it's funny because, for what it's worth, this is a better complaint to have because usually it would be the strong, woke female that would take, in most current Hollywood properties, it would be the strong, woke female, and then the man who the show's named after would be second fiddle. But now we just got the Marshal, who happens to be awesome.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's an interesting thought, Geek Tripology. Gain the honor of a warrior, forge a real clan, or, war culture showing you can lead makes you fully one of them. That's a way to deal with the foundling issue for sure. Absolutely. But the Vigilante Williamson made another really good comment, not just about taking the helmet off, but Baby Yoda has got to be killed, even though we all love him. So I'm going to take.
He's got to go.
He does have to go.
He's got to go because
good luck.
Oliphant's character brought. There's two things that were brought up. You don't need to have the helmet on all the time, obviously, and the marshal, he didn't have a kid around. He could be a badass. He could kick ass.
Yes.
Without having, where's Baby Yoda? Where's Baby Yoda?
Yes, I mean, you've got to dump Baby Yoda. I mean, there's so many reasons why he does need to exit the show. I mean, number one, he is currently a MacGuffin to an extent, right? And you cannot have Baby Yoda's cuteness driving the whole thing, because that has a time limit to it, right? I mean, it's like a fuse, and it can only burn so long before it's done. It is gonna run. It's gonna run out. And if your trope that is bringing people is just the cuteness of Baby Yoda, as much as we love the cuteness of Baby Yoda, okay, because I do. It's like, oh, it's Baby Yoda, he's cute, right? Like, I mean, I'm not doing like an Anna, that Star Wars girl kind of explosion on him, but I like Baby Yoda. He's a good part of the show, but he cannot be the crutch. And right now, they're really treading in dangerous water about making him be kind of the crutch that runs the show. So you got to get him out of there. I don't agree that you have to kill him off, though.
No.
Because what you can do is you think back to what the armorer actually said. She didn't say go find his species necessarily. She said take him to his kind. So his kind can mean Jedi. His kind can mean Force users. We know that Ahsoka is gonna be in at least an episode of this season, and Ahsoka is absolutely the child's kind, and she is somebody that could, be him, completing his quest with the child, and maybe, who knows, maybe. Finishing that quest off is what allows him to then be able to remove the helmet moving into season 3, solving two birds with one stone, right?
But here's the problem that they're going to eventually run into is where the hell did Baby Yoda end up during Return of the douche guy?
Yep.
Because that whole world, and Ahsoka,
how did Ahsoka survive?
They almost do have to get gloriously killed off or something. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think one of the ways that you can deal with it, and it's a good way. I mean, I guess there's a lot of ways you can go. So if the rumors that got floated out there, and I'll even just go so far as to call them leaks. I mean, they were trial balloons. They were running some shit up the flagpole and wanted to see who saluted. And they were looking to get the reaction of people like us who felt betrayed, just like George Lucas. They were looking to get the reaction of people, whatever small number of them there are, that are, loyal to the Disney tragedy. See, I remembered. I stole that from earlier.
You said the D word. They wanted to get another thing.
They wanted to get the reaction of the normies as well, and that's why they leaked these rumors out there. I think there's a very real probability that they were trying to gauge reaction to determine the path forward. I think that's absolutely what was going on. So one of the ways you can ditch Baby Yoda is by sending him off with Ahsoka. And we know Ahsoka was involved with, the search for Ezra. There's even some rumors that Ezra is going to show up in this season, maybe along with Ahsoka. And the two of them can, go be mommy and daddy Jedi masters to the child and zip them all off the show.
What's the timeline here? So it's like 5 years after Return.
Season 1 was. Season 2 is not clarified yet. Unless I missed something, I've not seen yet a clarification for Season 2. So if someone wants to fill the blanks on the comments, sorry, Paulie. Just letting it out there.
No. So Force Awakens was what? 30 years later?
Yes, 30.
30. So we got about 25 years. So
give or take.
Raylo is not born yet, or maybe she's.
Got to be. I mean, you're getting close to that point.
Right. So,
because we don't know exactly how old she was. So,
well, she looked pretty young. I mean, she was pretty young.
Yeah,
but she might be like Luke Skywalker age, if anyone knows in the chat. Because Luke and Leia were teenagers in Star Wars.
Yes. Yeah. What was it? Was 16, 17, somewhere in that neighborhood? Am I remembering correctly?
It's gonna have to be, that stuff's gonna have to be answered, It's gonna have to be dealt with.
Dealt with, exactly. And so I mean, Favreau and Filoni have got to be planning something, because if they don't have an out that lets them splinter away from the Disney tragedy storyline, they're fucked. Right, because they're running up against those things.
Now it is Disney, though. So
is Disney. Yep.
Is Disney going to want to give up Baby Yoda right away? I don't think so. They need to make some money.
Agreed.
It's like let's keep hyping this up, because we're gonna make better toys, make a Baby Yoda ride with little baby Yodas in the little baby Disney World.
I mean, I can see the little girl backpacks that are just like Baby Yodas right now. I can visualize this if they don't already exist.
Oh, they exist. They exist the way Gene Simmons puts out Kiss merchandise. I'm just saying that, dude. You go to your Target now, dude. Shit is everywhere, man.
What I think might have happened too is, and hopefully, this will come about later on, is that, Filoni and Favreau met up with Lucas after all this crap happened, and they're like, let's go back to your original ideas of your TV series that you had, because that was supposed to be the Western. Remember?
Yeah.
Lucas TV.
Yes.
So maybe some of those are going to be explored in the season 2. It's more Lucas. He's consulted with Filoni and Favreau.
Yeah. So there's there is a somewhat
hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Oh, I'm here.
So you're talking about Filoni, Favreau, and Lucas getting together and thinking about something, right?
He was on the set, right, last year?
Yeah, who you seeing right here? There's
KK.
Nice. The three boys right there sitting up front. And all three of these guys are actively engaged. This was from season 1 Mando production.
Who's the chick in the back? Is that KK?
That's what I was like. That's who I saw first.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
She doesn't look happy to be there either.
Says it all, dude.
Doesn't it, though?
Wow.
It does.
Doesn't it, though? It really, really does say it all.
That's her executive producer face photo.
I hate these men in the front row.
The force is supposed to be female. Yeah! Oh my god.
George's legacy.
Yeah. And Geek Tropology's point here is where I was thinking, though, as it relates to Ahsoka and Ezra. That send them to explore the unknown regions, you know, and you could even have that be one of your spin-off shows. You know, the Ahsoka and Baby Yoda show.
I think he would benefit from a spin-off show. I mean, especially if they can give him a hero's journey of him growing. I feel like that could work. I mean, he is becoming more animated, like especially when at early in the opening episode of season 2 when Mando's about to shoot out the thing, like the baby saw what he's about to do and he hid right in his pod right away. So they are playing off of each other now. I'm not sure if you caught that, but they're playing off of each other now. So he is being. He's not just standing there, just existing, but he also is aware of his environments more and more now, and it shows. So, and come on, when he was on that pod in the racer, I'd be enjoying that joyride too with that type of face.
Yeah, and Eric, no, I think that he told her to sit down and shut up. He'd get his own damn coffee this time, to be honest with you.
You know why she's pissed, right? It's like,
Fuck, this is how I started the business.
3 white men, old white men.
And you know, but hey, let's.
I wasn't even gonna go there, but okay.
Well, it's but look, that's how people like Kathleen Kennedy see everything. I don't want to go there, but is that not true though? How people like her see?
I was just thinking more like, you know, I have to get them coffee.
These motherfuckers want their coffee lattes.
I want my soy, skinny, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, everything-free this, and I can't even get that.
One coffee black, hold the hemlock, please. Yes, exactly.
I'm with you, Justin, a red shirt.
Photo. Great photo.
And this is season 1 production. This isn't even season 2. This is from season 1.
Yeah.
And you know, so this is why fans are not pissed off at the Mandalorian. I mean, straight up, this image is why. You've got 3 true creatives. There's no repurposers in the front row of this picture. We got 3 true creatives, and all 3 of these guys are actively engaged in what is going on.
Oh yeah, and they actually know what they're. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And this is why
very
it's
talented.
better.
They're very talented people in that row.
Yes, you betcha they are. and you know, for me in particular, the guy who's front and center, Favreau, I 100% trust. Absolutely trust that man to treat the property with the respect that it deserves. You know, speaking for myself, he's earned my trust.
Speak for yourself, man.
Yeah, and you know, I keep this in the hopper for streams where this comes up. I'm going to drop a little video that really goes into why I feel like I can trust this guy.
We wanted to really wind it back to the things that inspired the original Star Wars. Part of what you inherit when you're going to see Star Wars now is this whole history, because the stories have been told for decades. And this is something I learned from over at Marvel and working with Kevin Feige, is you always want to keep the core fans in mind, because they've been the ones that have been keeping the torch lit for many, many years. But these are also stories for young people and for new audiences. These are myths. And so you're really telling 2 stories at once. You're telling the story for the people who are fresh eyes, and you're telling the story for the people who've been there with the property and with the stories and the characters for so many years, and make sure that you're honoring them as well.
You know, and that's why I can trust the dude.
Cheers. I love it.
Yeah. That warmed my heart a little bit, just seeing Jon Favreau say all that. It really did. A guy who's actually invested emotionally.
Yes, he is a fan, man. I mean, he even refers to these things as myths. Who else uses that phrasing?
Oh yeah, no, that's true. It is those little details that he described as myths. it really is the little things. I know that's a cliche statement, but it truly is the little things. And seeing that, I was just like, yeah, this guy, he's it, man. He's just it. Jon Favreau was a fan and a man who should be working on Star Wars, and thankfully is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen here, Catherine Kennedy. Yes, here.
Go give her my coffee now. I want.
But yeah, I mean, a guy who speaks like that and believes that
coffee now.
that's a dude that I trust with the reins in my favorite IPs. You know.
Yep.
I mean, I really mean it.
I just got sided.
That's Hollywood for you. You get out first.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sometimes literally.
Hooray for Hollywood.
Yeah. And, everybody remembers Lord of the Rings, particularly the extended editions, as perhaps the greatest trilogy ever made.
So good.
There's definitely debate on what is the greatest, but Lord of the Rings is in every one of those conversations.
As it should be.
And it was because the property and the IP and the underlying sincerity of it was kept to the source, and it was faithful to what it was, and it was done with love, and it was treated like the myth that it is.
Mm-hmm. Good luck, Amazon. Good luck. Good luck. Not that I think they give a shit, but good luck, because Peter Jackson did it so well. Like, I had not known a thing about the Lord of the Rings until I saw those movies, each and individually in their original theatrical releases, which of course led to the extended cuts, of course. And
of course,
the rest was simply just history. But the idea, I don't even know if I it's hard for me to fathom, accept this idea of this Amazon show being made. Maybe just because of how much right Peter Jackson did do, and of course the casting too. I mean, fuck. I mean,
yeah.
When I saw Gandalf, I'm like, Ian McKellen is Gandalf. Like, holy crap. And to think Sean Connery was almost Gandalf. Like, I mean, that would have been cool too. That would have been cool too. But it's just Ian, like, and all those actors, seriously, like, and clearly, and they all went on to do bigger and better things because of the Lord of the Rings. It cemented a lot of their names as well. So, God, those movies. And the fight scenes too, those, I mean, nowadays, have a big epic fight scene would be strictly an all CGI thing. They were actually using shit like, physical things, people included,
yes,
in order to do those things. That's not going to happen anymore in Hollywood. Peter Jackson's one of the last of his kind, and so was that casting and the crew for making that. I'm going to miss movies like that. I'm going to get emotional here about how much those movies are so good.
I've never had coffee that good either, Eric K. I haven't, and I love coffee.
Lord of the Rings suck.
I'm definitely leaning in on the dirt piece. I mean, nothing else explains it at the end of the day. What's up?
Change my mind, Nick. Come on, change my mind.
Oh, my coffee!
Have you had coffee that good, Paulie?
I had a good coffee this morning. I had the what's called Basic Batch from Black Rifle Coffee Company. They made their own pumpkin flavored coffee, and it's called Basic Batch, not Basic Bitch. Basic Batch. It was freaking good. I mean, I'll stand by my pumpkin flavor. This shit was good, and I'm the guy who likes the coffee. I'm all for the dark side of coffee, black.
Yeah, I don't know. You did simp out over pumpkin spice, so I don't know if I don't know if I can trust your opinion on coffee there, Nick.
All right, you guys ready for my latest little buy I got?
Let's see it.
Yes.
All right, hold on. Oh God. Okay, all right. Let me see.
The suspense is building here, Polly. It's building.
Okay, how do I turn?
Your latest buy is duck lips.
No. All right, we'll just do like this. Here we go. Here we go. You guys ready? Ready?
I see Qui-Gon.
Boom, on air, baby.
Hey, I like that. That's slick. I need one of those. I'm on a stream.
Yeah. So, I'm on a stream. I'm on a stream, guys. My girlfriend just shook her head at me. She's gonna kill me. Sorry, man. You guys heard that?
We love you, Mrs.
They closed the door, anyways.
Yeah. Ooh, that sounds nice.
All right, guys.
Yeah, my God.
I've been rolling for about 2.5 hours, and I think it's about time to wrap her up for the night. So let's go around the horn real quick. Plug your channels, anything you want to say, what you got coming up in the next week or two. Nick, let's hear it.
I'm 32 Flavors of Nickweiser. I just did a 3 Floyds video a few days ago. I appear on Paulie's X-Files, what's it called? X-Flicks and Chill. Thank you, Paulie. And, of course, Howling About Entertainment with Jake D is always a blast as well. Thank you, Jake. And I'm also going to be doing some metal. So if there's any metalheads in the chat, I got some metal reviews I'm doing this week.
There's a few.
Yeah, so I've got a few awesome bands I'm going to be covering, so it's going to be superbly excellent. And I've got more food videos coming. And, of course, I'm going to hopefully praise or complain about Mandalorian, whichever one it is. So, yeah, the variety is the spice of life, my man. So, yeah, youtube.com/Nick's Toxic Waltz. So, tune in, enjoy some shit, and now back to you, Paulie.
Paulie, tell us about your channel.
Hey.
Plug it, my brother.
No reason to plug nothing. Go ahead and subscribe to JD, to Nick, 32 Flavors. That's all I gotta say.
Ah,
love
so
you guys.
Kind. So kind.
All right. Well, by God, if you've made it 2.5 hours into this stream, I am going to just assume you've pressed the like button. But if you haven't, now's a good time to remember to smash that, because it does totally help channels like ours.
Do it. Do it now.
When you're newer on YouTube, as far as being a content creator goes, you know, one of the things that really helps us out is when you bring the comments onto the streams, when you hit that like button, sharing it on social media, and, you know, helping it expand the reach. Because, you know, let's face it, your CBS's, your Netflix's, your Disney's of the world, they pay to get boosted, and we're just some poor schlubs making shit up as we go. So we need whatever help you can give us. You know?
Oh shit! But seriously, Jake,
right.
Congrats to you, Jake. You are the victor today. You got the 100. You are at triple.
Yeah.
Hey, well, Paulie's 250's got to be coming up pretty soon if he hasn't already hit it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You're sneaking up on it, brother.
Sorry, man.
Panel, folks in the chat, thank you so much for your time tonight. We really do appreciate it. And we will definitely catch you on the next stream. Thanks, everybody.
Take care, all.
Peace out, everyone.